Today we welcome UFC light heavyweight TUCO TOKKOS, who's fighting on the Fight Night card in Florida this Saturday. Great to have you on the show, TUCO.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man.
No worries. It's the first time we've had you on the show, so maybe tell us a bit about yourself, how you got into MMA.
Into MMA. I'm from London, England. And my mum's from Brazil. And one day I was just watching UFC and I was like, damn, I should probably do jiu-jitsu. Like, it's in the blood a bit, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So I just started training in the daytime, just like something to do. And I was pretty good. I was like a natural at that. I started competing in jiu-jitsu. Was winning a lot of tournaments like locally in London. Then I'd do like the English Open, the British Open. I was like winning all that. And then my coaches at the time, Ashley Grimshaw, Jude Samuel, they were just like, do MMA, man. Don't be a bitch. So I was like, all right. And then just started fighting from there and just kept fighting all the way here.
What was that first gym you started training at in London?
I started training, it was a jiu-jitsu academy called Legacy BJJ. And then and there was some old school fighters on there. I don't know if you guys all know them. There was like Sully Mahmood, Michael Johnson, the British one. They were like old school guys from London Shoot, Ashley Grimshaw. And they like broke off and made a little jiu-jitsu kind of MMA jiu-jitsu academy. They're still going. They're called Inglorious Grapplers. And then Ash went off to make GB Top Team with Brad Pickett. Oh, yeah. After Titan. Team Titan was like my first MMA gym in North London. Brad Pickett, Ashley Grimshaw, a bunch of guys up there. And then I moved to America like 7 years ago.
Nice. And I see you're training, you've been over at Killcliff in Florida for a while, haven't
you? Yeah, I've been here from like 4 gyms ago. When I first came here in 2017, the Black Zillions had just disbanded and ended. I think the owner died. And the team kind of broke away. But Henry Hoof, Greg Jones, they kept like 10 of the fighters and they were at a tiny little gym in Lantana, Florida. And I just rocked up one day. I was in Florida, I rocked up and there was like, Henry was there, Henry Hoof. And I was like, hey, I'm here for a little while. Like I want to train. I think I had 1 pro fight at that time. And he was like, well, we're sparring in 5 minutes. You got your shit? I was like, damn, I went to the car, grabbed my stuff, went inside. I didn't even warm up. And I just jumped in the sparring. My first rounds was like Luke Rockhold when he was still good. Kamaru Usman, Jason Jackson, Stefan Struve was there, 7-foot Stefan. It was like murderer's row, man. They beat the shit out of me. But Henry was like, oh, you're good. You can train with us. And that was that. And I was on the team from that day.
Oh God, yeah, trial by fire.
And then from there we moved to Hard Knocks. Then we moved to Samford. Now it's Killcliff.
So how does it compare? Because that's sort of one of the sort of mega gyms, you could call it.
Yeah.
In America, how does training at one of those compares to anywhere else, really?
I would say in general, it's just the facilities to start. Like when I was at Titan, it's like we had 2 little raggedy showers. You'd have to get there, like. Transport in London ain't the best at that time when you're traveling to training in the morning. It's like I'd get on the tube, then I'd have to change at King's Cross and go up north, get off the tube and get on the bus, and then walk like 10 minutes to the gym. So it was a nightmare to get there. And then the mat space was tiny. It was like the mats were like 10, 15 years old. It just wasn't like here. Like here, I drive my car, drive right up to the front door. It's sunny outside. You walk in. There's 10 showers, like state-of-the-art mats. I don't know how many square feet the gym is. It's just like, it's like the facility is just out of this world, you know. That's one thing, the environment. And then obviously the training partners, the coaching, everything here. There's great coaching in the UK now. Because, I mean, these guys have the experience. Since I left, it's like all these coaches have 7 years more. And but it's like we don't have like NCAA wrestlers in the UK, you know what I mean? We don't have like the best talent. Now the grassroots is coming up. Like last time I was in London a few months ago on the way to Paris to corner Brendan, and I stopped by GB Top Team to get some training in, and there was like 40 kids on the mat in their early 20s, like crazy talent. I didn't know any of them. I was like, damn, I'm getting old, man. But so it's like grassroots MMA in England and the UK is like, in the last few years is just like boom. It's great to see.
Yeah, and like you said, you obviously get great sparring partners and training partners at kill cliff. Who is it that's sort of giving you your best sparring rounds usually? I know they've obviously got some other big guys there like Ongla Song and
Yeah, I train a lot with my boy Brendan Allen. I think he's the best middleweight in the world. I know the last result didn't go his way, but it was just an off night. Brendan Allen, Robocop, Rodriguez, Phil Hawes is still one of the best guys in the world. I know he's not in the UFC anymore. Jason Jackson, Gerald Mearshart is amazing on the ground. And then we got great guys like stopping in all the time. You know, Tyrone Spong comes in for sparring. We got Big Baby Jarrell Miller comes in for sparring, the boxer. We just had his last opponent, Imamov, in the gym for a couple months. Derrida's in the gym doing his camp for his next fight. Like, it's just like on any given day, it's like there's no rounds off. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's murderer's row in there.
yeah, crazy talent pool. And obviously we just had Shavkat and Ian Garry.
Yeah, Shavkat. I forgot about Shavkat. Damn, he's been in the gym.
Yeah.
But you know what? I will say one thing. There's kids in the gym that you've never heard of, right? There's kids from Chechnya, from Tajikistan, like from Ossetia, and you've never heard of these kids, right? These Russian-speaking kids. They're young and they're just killers, man. They're all undefeated. They're the guys you haven't heard of, but they be beating the out of the names that you have heard of. Yeah. Like, we got guy Michael Chandler, Gilbert Burns, all these stars. But these kids in the gym, they really are the future, man. They're killers. You'll see a lot of them soon.
And so obviously, yeah, you've seen those guys train quite a lot together, yeah. I imagine, on the mats. Did the fight pan out sort of how you thought it would?
Yeah, I knew Ian would give him a little trouble. I actually thought Ian underperformed. I thought he was a bit slow the first couple rounds. I thought he would come out really quick, but he couldn't really get his jab going or the calf kicks until like the third round. But he took over a little bit in that round with the striking. But yeah, I mean, it was a close fight, right? It was 3 rounds to 2. Yeah, I knew Shavkat wouldn't finish him. I know Ian's a bit difficult to take down. He's flexible on the cage and stuff. But I mean, I think Shavkat didn't perform to his best either. I mean, it's 2 high-level guys, you know what I mean? Close fight.
Yeah.
But I thought it would go that way.
There was some talks of Shavkat being injured in the build-up to the fight as well. Is that true?
We're all injured, man. We're all injured, aren't we?
Yeah, you do hear that a lot. So obviously, we got yourself fighting at Tampa on Saturday. Your opponent, Navajo Sterling, is one of Israel Adesanya's training partners at boxing. He's coming in as a heavy favourite into this one, but how do you see the fight panning out?
I see him yesterday in a hotel. I went right up to him and met him. He was a bit like, yeah, I mean, he's massive. Oh my God. When I see him, I was like, we're supposed to be same height. I was like looking up at him. He's enormous. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's a very good striker. He's very big and strong. I don't know how good he is yet because I don't think, like his contenders fight, I saw he done an interview and he said that was his first true knockout in his career. And he caught the guy with a left hook, like his eyes were closed. I'm sure he's very good, but I don't know how good he is yet because I think the competition he fought prior to that, like if you see some of his fights, they're against cans. But I know he ain't got a lot of fights, so they were just building him up, and now they've fast-tracked him. There's a lot of hype around him because of the gym that he's from and his training partners, and he's young and whatever. But yeah, I mean, that's my job, isn't it? I'm older than him, I have more fights. It's my job to get in his face and give him some trouble. So yeah, it's just that. It's like who can execute their game plan. He wants to have space and kick and strike, and I have to take away the space and get in his face. So that's the fight. We're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah, and obviously because he's 5-0, so in comparison to yourself, he's fairly inexperienced. So what do you think it is that the odd makers are seeing?
I don't know. I think with his kickboxing resume, he has more fights than me. So they're probably seeing that. They're probably seeing that he's all KOs. I don't know. I've lost my last fight, so I don't know.
Yeah.
What they're seeing, you know.
So you were saying
I don't care really.
Yeah. All matters what happens in the cage.
Yeah, exactly.
So you obviously had your UFC debut, which you took on short notice. When you're reflecting on that, do you think it's was the risk worth it? Because obviously you do get
100%. 100%. I had to take the fight to get into the UFC. You know, there was no 2 ways about it. Everyone was like, go. Even though I was on the other side of the world, I was in Abu Dhabi. I had to fly all the way to Vegas, and I just landed there from Miami. had to turn around, go straight back to the airport, fly to Vegas. But in the end, it was like there was a lot of pros to take away. Like I'd got in the UFC, I got the contract. I didn't take any damage. I took 0 significant strikes in that fight. And I knew I'd get a full camp for my next fight. So it was like definitely worth the risk, 100%.
Yeah. And you see that those kind of moves put in a lot of goodwill sometimes with the top brass. So
I hope so.
And so obviously for the fight this weekend on Saturday, what's your prediction?
I wanna get in his face and get him tired, and he's big. He's got a lot of muscle. So my prediction is just to push him. Hopefully I can snatch his neck. If not, just grind him out.
There's been a lot of movement in your division recently, last year. Who do you think is going to be the champ by the end of 2025?
Probably Alex Pereira still. I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless they put him against someone who can grapple. If they give him Ankalaev and Ankalaev wrestles, and Ankalaev will beat him handedly, I believe. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really care about that. I don't really look up the division or anything. I just care about my boys that are in contention in their divisions, and when it comes to my fights, I just want to bang, and put on good fights, and yeah, that's it, man. I just love it. But I want to be on the London card. That's all I care about.
That was literally my next question.
Yes, I'm the only real Londoner in the UFC. Well, now Lonnie's in there, and you got Nathaniel Wood too. But I'm a real Londoner. I'm from Camden. I'm real Londoner. You can check my postcode. They need to put me on that, man, because there's no like real Londoners in the UFC. It's mad. They're gonna put Paddy and Molly and Aspinall and all these Northerners on there. It's diabolical, man. Put me on. Let me get the hooligans and the goons out to the O2.
Well, yeah, they're still making that card. So I suppose if you make a bit of a statement on Saturday, is that what you're going to be calling?
Fingers crossed, yeah, man. That's the first thing I'll say if I get the mic.
Well, it's been great chatting to you, mate. I wish you all the best on Saturday.
Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, hopefully all comes well, and yeah, we get you on that UFC London card.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. God bless.
Nice one, man. Have a great day.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.